We are live.
Yeah, we are live.
Yes.
Um,
What are we doing, Mike?
we are appreciating our millions and millions of viewers.
Yes. That's right. Soon we're going to be streaming on Twitch.
Ha!
I don't know if you heard. We have there's a long conversation there in the AV community talk where we laid out our plans for Federico to manage us in our new Twitch channel. So yeah, you have to get caught up on that at some point. So yeah, Mike is muted, but he is navigating to the two different tickets that we have that are client requested tickets that we didn't get a chance to get to last week during the sprint. And you know, when it's client requested, it means that it's high priority. See there, one of our important clients, Federico, requested it.
Yep. So
And you've looked at this issue, have you, before, Mike?
yeah, I have I have looked at it on the higher level.
Yep. Do you want to just give like a high level explanation of what it is, and then go straight into like your workflow, so Koth can see how you like how you make sure you're like in sync with the parent repo and creating a branch and getting started working?
Okay. So I'm having background noise as well, so I'll keep muting
Okay.
and muting you. So
No worries.
this issue adds support for more than one issue tracker, and then currently I'm forced to add links to additional waffle boards into the repo links because there is one field for issue trackers. So I think the first question the first thing I will say about this ticket, okay, he explains that is forced to add links, then now how to reproduce this. So on the Agile Ventures, how do I reproduce it, Matt? I think I wasn't able to reproduce it. That's where I left last time.
What are you trying to reproduce?
Okay, this. So he is forced to add links to additional waffle boards.
Yeah, so you can see there, like you and you as well, of course, that we have several different places for someone to add a GitHub URL. So if they have multiple repos on GitHub, you have like the GitHub primary, and then you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and you have the ability to delete a repo or add a repo.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
Of course, I don't know, you can give a thumbs up somehow in the chat, or unmute yourself and indicate that you're following us.
Yeah,
that would be
maybe.
cool.
Oh, okay.
Hey, baby. Yeah, you want food? Or you want to come in my lap? Come here. So cool. Koth is with us. So then you can see there you have issue tracker link, and there's only one, right? There's only one field to add an issue tracker link, right? So there's an issue on this repo, on this project. He has a pivotal tracker, and then you can see there in if you scroll up a little bit, my GitHub GitHub URL 4 is the waffle board, right? So that waffle board is not a GitHub URL, but he's forced to put it in the GitHub URL because there's no more fields to put the issue tracker like there is with the GitHub URL. Do you understand? So you're both muted, but I'll take that as a yes because you're pointing at you don't have to unmute yourself every time. So you're pointing at the field, right? So the idea is that we would add support for like where it says add more repos. There would be like another button that would said like add more issue trackers, something like that. Doesn't have to be those exact words, but like below, in between the issue tracker link and the Slack channel name, we would have like a button that the person can click on. And then, or maybe we could see about having how many we have by default. So I don't know if you're going to be able to replicate because this issue is related to the fact that he was saying that some of the projects are not pulling in all the languages that the project uses, right? So that other ticket that we're planning on working on as well, that one it's related to this one, but I think like this one, maybe we could get out first and then we could work on the other one afterwards. So he's like, he first reported like, oh, the programming language is not finding all the Elixir projects, right? So then he says like, like he did a search for Elixir projects and he didn't find Championer 1, the project Championer 1. Yeah, so if you want to, you can actually replicate that. Elixir's there a little bit higher above Python. A little bit higher there. Yeah, so it's only finding those two projects, So then he was like, oh, well, why, it's not finding Championer 1, but Championer 1 is a Elixir project, so there's something broken. And then if you go back to the ticket, we had an exchange about what it could be. I said, apparently Phoenix 1 doesn't use Elixir. Like I went there to the repo and then he's like, right, that's mainly the user stories and links to the screenshots. And I said, could you share where we can find the repo that we can pull the Elixir from? Right. And then he shared a link where Championer 1, Sing for Needs. And then I was like, yeah, I heard both of those are great projects. I can see Championer 1, for example, is the second GitHub URL registered for Phoenix 1. Maybe there's a way we can refactor the way the languages are brought in and check to see if there's more than one GitHub URL for a given project and pull in the language for all the registered GitHub URLs, or a way for project managers to manually add the languages the projects use. So those are possible solutions to this issue that he brought up, And then I don't know if you scroll down, you can see what he responded. But like I'm suggesting that we put this one off for a second and deal with the issue tracker one first. But we could start with that one as well if you prefer. It just seems like that one might be a little bit bigger to start with. So if we want to deliver like what the client requested, we could maybe deliver this one first, and then as soon as you deliver this one, go straight into working on delivering the other one,
Okay. I think that's cool.
So if you want to reproduce, like, it's not an issue, but if you want to go to like the new, like, do you know how to get to the new projects form?
Yeah.
Perfect. Nice. So there's the form, right? So right now there's only one GitHub URL field and there's one issue tracker field. So that's maybe we want to keep it like that, but then we would want to have an ability to add more issue trackers,
Yeah.
Of course, if you want to send a message, if all that makes sense to you, and if so, then we could talk about how to get started.
Hello.
Yep, you there?
I think you're breaking. I don't know. I think it's my side of the internet.
It's possible.
Hmm?
It's possible it's your side. Akoth, are you hearing me okay? And do you understand what we're talking about? And all makes sense to you?
Yeah, I'm following along.
Awesome. Mike, do you know? So, do you want to start? Like, do you have any other questions, or do you want to get into like your workflow, and so Akoth, so we can get started, and so Akoth can see how you do your thing?
Yeah, I think you're now clear. You were saying something that I did not understand. So,
I mean, why don't, instead of me telling you, why don't you tell me what you think we could do? Yeah, and just get us started. Let's write some code, man. Let's write some code. I'm using my new mouse today, you know.
I could hear the clicks.
Yeah, can you? Oh,
Yeah.
it's so much better. You know, I waited so long, you know.
Yeah. I can't stand a mouse myself.
Oh no.
No.
What do you have a desktop or do you have a laptop?
Laptop.
And you just use the mouse, the built-in mouse?
Yeah, and the keyboard.
Yeah. I mean, I was doing that and it was nice, but then I don't know. Maybe I just used too much. I don't know.
Yeah.
So, can you walk us through what you're doing, like verbally? So,
I think currently I just want to create the new branch, but
yeah.
still I had some changes I had not committed here. So,
okay.
Yeah.
But what, like so I was talking to Akoth yesterday in the Look Sport getting started meeting. I don't know if you remember, Akoth, I was talking to you about that command to clean your those files. So if you can see there, you have like a get status at the top of Mike's screen, and then you have like a area changes not staged for commit, which has like just one thing there that is some changes presumably that Mike has made, and then you have like untracked files, and you have all those features, support, fixtures, cassettes. You have one cassettes directory, and you have like 10 or 15 of those require cache directories. And those are things that, if you do like a git add all, like then you would end up adding those to your PR, and then it would make it confusing for like, it's a lot of noise and we're, committing things that we don't want to be committing. So then you can see there, I don't know if you can see like kind of midway through Mike's screen, he ran that rake task, rake VCR, Billy caches reset that I told you about. So yeah, I don't know if you had to do that when you did your PR or not, because maybe you didn't run the whole suite of tests. But it looks like what Mike did was like, to see if things were passing locally, he ran like a series of Cucumber tests locally, and then he got all those files generated. And now he's cleaned those out, and you can see like the second time that he ran git status, he's just left with that one change. So it makes it much cleaner for him to be able to see what was, what's happening. All right, so now he looked at the difference in that file, and he noticed that it was just a binding.pry, which is like a debugging tool. And so he got rid of, he just checked out those changes, which means that it discarded the changes in the working directory. No worries. If you didn't run the test, that's okay. Some people like to push it up and move on to something else and let the CI run the test for them, and then they can kind of look at what's happening in the test and see if it passed or failed, and if it failed, what for what reason. And so I think Mike had already pushed it up and it failed. So then he was like in a situation where he's trying to debug why it's failing. So he wanted to like make sure he could get it passed from locally first, because that way he doesn't just keep pushing it up and keep it, it's like takes longer to debug it if you're waiting for the CI to do it,
Yeah.
So, all right. So what are you doing now, Mike?
Now I'm going to create a branch for this ticket.
Mm-hmm.
And how I'll name it, I'll give it the waffle ID, the ticket ID there. 2732. Then support more than one issue tracker.
Yeah.
So I'll just give this. So sometimes you find that the ticket name is so long for it, so maybe you try to make it shorter.
I think you're missing 2 characters.
Yeah, I think I did not check out -B.
Yeah. Of course, if you maybe you're already familiar with all this, I think you've gone through this already. But if you have any questions or if you want to make any comments, just let us know. So okay, cool. So now you've created the. I guess on yours it doesn't tell you what branch you're on, does it?
No.
Did you if you wanted to get set up on for it to tell you what branch you're on, I think that you have like in the web dev mob channel in Slack, Sam shared with the web dev mob how to add that configuration for OS X, and you could follow that. I don't know exactly how far you'll have to scroll up. I could maybe look for it while you get started. And I think you passed it. Maybe I can look for it. Why don't you focus? And is that something that you would like? Is to be able to have the ability to see the branch? Okay, so I'll find it for you and share it.
Okay. So.
And also I could share it on a channel that's public instead of it being on a private channel. So if other people.
Yes. So I think the next thing is to figure out like this case.
Yes.
So
you may talk for your friend.
So walk us through what you're doing, Mike.
Okay, I just want to find the file where like I want to find the file where this request is needed, just to familiarize myself with the directory structure before I can for the. So within the views, and projects. So in the project we have new, I think.
So you have projects.
New renders form. And now this form.
Who can use it a little bit? Division that format.
It's
kuna kitu labda tukichange ndio nasema ati tuna count the round icon. Hizi ni hapo zangu.
we should track a link.
Okay. We hit the breakpoints and we are indeed matching the wrong version of the decode function. When we pass it, 0.00000000011111000. Your number. Ah, that's because I'm discriminating based on the value of the top bits. It's discriminating based on the value of the top bits. And I got it wrong. I got it the wrong way around the
Again.
FMTPE version. I got it wrong. I got the wrong way around.
Yeah. So, of course, if you want to speak, you can just unmute and speak. So this is where we have the theme, but then placeholder peopletalker.com, but then we want like more of this, like it's
Yeah.
in the
So,
source code repositories, is it?
yep.
Yeah. GitHub URL. It's called GitHub URL. And more repos.
Yeah. So you want to.
So they want to do maybe such a thing here. So the first thing we should do is to write tests
That would be a good thing. Yeah.
to check that when we are on this page, maybe we get to see the add more tracker button or something. So we can come this will be a cucumber test. So develop projects. There's a time we discussed that it's better just to add a new feature file.
It depends, I guess, right?
Yeah. But then,
So I guess like are you assuming that there's already tests for the
am I assuming that?
That there's already tests for the like GitHub URL, adding more GitHub URL?
Nope. For adding more GitHub URLs.
Yeah, well, because we have a button already that's like add more repos, right?
Yeah.
There you go. So there's a test there, right? Did you see it? Yeah. Okay. Oh, cool. So you did a global search for add more repos, and then okay. So you want to do something similar?
Yes.
Okay.
So maybe.
And I guess like then about doing it in a different feature or not, like, does it make sense to you that that like this functionality would exist inside of a feature called create projects?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, I think so, right? I mean,
yeah. But then I think we'll have a different scenario. Then saving a new project. Saving a new project with multiple trackers.
Yeah, issue trackers. Yeah. Today.
I'm just following like what they already have here with the success. So given, and maybe I will make these events I create.
So for Sire and Okoth, while he's doing that, are you guys familiar with the cucumber test?
I have used it once. Sorry.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I'm familiar with the same. I've done some few tests with
We already used the XUnit framework to write.
Yeah. Okay, I think I think so. What I'm trying to do is to make the test a little bit declarative, but
yeah, I definitely understand why you would want to do that, Mike.
yeah, but okay, because yeah,
because like the thing is that is it important like I mean I guess it's important that the person's logged in, so that might stay the same, but you could, I mean, I don't know, I guess you could argue, logging in, like as I think you've learned with doing declarative steps, is that you can log in the cucumber steps. You don't necessarily have to say given I have logged in, although you might, and then I guess like, so you're kind of there saying like, is it important that I'm on the projects page and I click on the new project button and I probably not. I mean, it's probably just important that I'm on the new projects page, whatever.
Yep.
So you have there that I create a project with more than one issue tracker. Okay.
So up here, when they fill in all this stuff, and then I should be on the show page for projects, and then I should see, multiple repo. Has lots of code. They should see a link. My favorite project. Then what becomes my expectation, Matt? because it seems like I'm going to be hiding all the back. Where do I break it? Because
I mean, you see there that they're like, so they click on the submit button. So presumably that would be like maybe the last step in the creating a project, right?
yeah.
So then they're like, then I should be on the show page and I should see project was successfully created, right? So,
Yeah.
and then they have like, I should see blah, 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 I don't know, whatever. Other things, right? Like lots of other things. I mean, maybe we need to check for those, or maybe the person was kind of overdoing it. I don't know. That's kind of up for opinion. But the point is that like you when you click on the submit button, and you have multiple issue trackers, what do you expect to happen? Like in human terms,
To have more issues created, issue trackers.
to have more issue trackers created, or to have the project created?
To have a project with more than one issue trackers.
Yeah. So just kind of write that on line 96, maybe, given I have logged in and that I create a project with more than one issue tracker, then
Yep.
then I should have a project created with more than one issue tracker. Perfect. That's great. So for you, Kotin today, actually, Mike, can you explain like why you've like done it the way you've done it from in your scenario versus the way that the other person did it in their scenario on line 68?
Yes. So what the task at hand is to create the request is to create a project with more than one issue tracker.
Sorry, you can keep going. I just realized that we're late for the scrum.
Okay. Yeah.
All right, so I'm gonna have to drop off because I need to start the scrum. But it's gonna take me a second to start it. So if you wanna,
So what we are doing, this kind of scenarios, it has a lot of stuff that it could be difficult for someone just to from the look of things to understand easily what.
I'm going to drop off. I'll see you in a second.
Okay. So it's a little bit difficult for someone just reading this to understand what's going on, because given I have logged in and I'm on the projects page and I click on the very stylish new project button and I fill in the title with this and I do this and I do that. For someone just reading this, it's too long, because more often these steps should be at most 7. We should be having like 7 steps so that it's easier to read for guys. So what I just did is to try replicating these steps, but creating it in a shorter way, so that given I have logged in and I create a project with more than one issue tracker. So maybe this guy could have said, given I have logged in and I create a project with more than one repository or with multiple repositories, then I just write my expectation. I should have a project created with more than one repository. Maybe that will make this shorter. But now what will happen is that all these steps will cover them in the step definitions when I'll be implementing either of these two. So this just makes it a little bit cleaner and easier to understand from the reading of the scenario point of view. Yeah, I don't know if you have any questions.
Okay. I think okay. I'm of the view that the method you're using is okay, a little bit understandable. I mean, in terms of the steps, the number of steps, and
Yeah.
yeah.
So I think it just it's
Actually,
good
these examples might come from
practice to have like at least
these examples.
at most 7 steps. Like this is too much. Like this is too much. And you get that sometimes guys do like okay, this is okay. It's just a lot of stuff. It's difficult for the developer who is reading it to come in and understand what this is doing. So yeah, that's why it's often advised to have like the declarative steps that makes them a little bit shorter. So all these things that you're doing, you'll do them while you're defining you're doing your step definitions. Yes.
Okay. So thanks.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Go ahead.
No, okay. I'm just agreeing with your opinion. That is.
Okay. Or maybe we need to go and join the Scrum.
Yeah, we should do that.
That is A, we are going
Thanks.
1, B, we're going 2,
Okay.
and then enter start. So